Good morning. I am StampinDeDe, Deanna Blackman. I'm a Stampin Up demonstrator, and I'm here this morning. It's Stampin Thursday. Every Thursday we do something special, and today is Stepped Up Stamping. So the fourth Thursday of every month will be Stepped Up Stamping. So we are going to take a sketch, a simple sketch, and I'll show you a basic card that I created. Then I'll show you a casual card and tell you how I stepped it up, and then we're going to do the Avid card together. So I am just so excited to be here with you this morning. And I do want to tell you about the Stamp Club of the Month. The October Stamp Club of the Month is going to be Pick of the Patch. So that's the stamp set that I'll be featuring with the Stamp Club, the October Club of the Month. You will get 8 cards, 2 each of 4 different designs using Pick of the Patch. And you will also get the tutorials with the photographs. You will get a package of All About Autumn Designer Series paper. And you will get a spool of copper clay ribbon. And those are both, the All About Autumn and the copper clay ribbon will be used on some of the cards. So you'll use that paper and that ribbon. And then I will give you everything else. However, I will not be able to do any of the stamping. So if you do not have Pick of the Patch and you want to add that to your $35 Stamp Club fee, then I will order that for you and pay the shipping and the handling. I'm trying to think through my process here. Or you can order it on your own. If you don't have Pick of the Patch and you don't want it, then substitute something else on these cards. All right. So that's the Stamp Club of the Month. I wanted to tell you about that. So let's get to Stepped Up Stamping. And also be sure and let me know if you're watching live. I want to know who's watching. And you know, if you watch it, the replay or the YouTube, any comment or thumbs up or anything like that helps the video to be shown more often. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. And let's get to it. I'm going to put the phone on the stand. So hold on. Here we go. All right. That went fairly well. Once I... All right. I think that'll work. Now let me get my video going so I can see what you see. Make sure that you can see what I want you to see. All right, here we are. So, today's sketch, today's cards will be using Bird's Eye View. And this is a stamp set that I just think is so cute. It's just so stinking cute. And I don't use it enough. So I thought, okay, today I'm going to use this stamp set. And this is the sketch that we will use. And so from this sketch, I created a basic card. So here is my basic card from this sketch. Now, as you can see, I pretty much followed the sketch using the Bird's Eye View stamp set. So I did the Balmy Blue card base. I used a strip of Cajun Craze. I used some white twine. And then my basic white piece is, I think it's 4.5 by 2.5. So I didn't want my books just hanging in the air. So I did use a blender brush and smoky slate ink. But you know, you could just draw a line. If you don't have a blender brush and ink, then you could just draw a line there and maybe color it in. So I wanted to keep this really simple. I didn't do any coloring on this one. I just kept it real simple. So this is the basic card. All right. So we're going to set that aside. I'm going to set that right there. And we may use this in a minute. So then I stepped this card up a couple of ways. First of all, I took my Cajun Craze strip and I used the Distress Tile 3D embossing folder on it, just to give it a little bit of dimension. And I don't know if you can see that, the distressing. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm trying to decide if you can. Maybe there, but anyway. So I did that. I put my twine around it. I think what I'm going to do, hold on just a minute. I think I'm going to turn another light on here. See if this helps any. I don't know if that helps any or not. So I also decided, you know, I'm beginning to get into the stamping now, whereas when I first started, I didn't have any blends. I really had very few stamps, but now I have a few blends. So I thought, okay, then I can add a little bit of color to this image. So I used my smoky slate blends, and I used my Calypso Coral blends. And I just added some color to the books. I added a little bit of color to my owl. And I also used the leaf stamp that is in the set and just stamped a couple of those just to add a little interest. And put my happy birthday on. So I have stepped it up. Oh, and I added a Cajun Craze border or mat to my white. So my mat was just 1/4 of an inch bigger than my white, my basic white. Yep, I think that's pretty much all I did. Oh, I added dimensionals too to this image. I added dimensionals. This one was flat. I didn't have dimensionals yet here. But now I've got some blends. I have an embossing folder. I have some dimensionals. So we've stepped it up a little bit. Now we're going to take this image, and I've added 2 more Stampin' blends because I wanted to bring in the color of the balmy blue of the card base. So I added balmy blue blends to my card here that we're going to do together. I also decided I wanted to add a little more to my card front. So I'll show you how I think we're going to do that here in a minute. But let me get my card base. It is just your standard 8.5 by 5.5 card base, scored at 4 1/4. I also think I'm going to raise this up. Just a little bit. So I can get a little more. All right. Now, all right. I think we get a little better view that way. All right, so I've got my card base. I'm going to go ahead and run my little Cajun Craze strip through with my embossing folder, and I didn't want to move my machine over here, so you just know that you use your platform. When you have a 3D embossing folder, you position your cardstock in the embossing folder, wherever you want it. Your seam should go into the machine first, and then you use your blue platform, your blue plate. And we're going to run this through real quick. So now we have our embossed Cajun Craze piece. It's going to go right here. And that piece is 1 inch wide by 4 1/4 long. But I think I've ordered this beautiful tartan foil specialty designer series paper. Is that not gorgeous? Look at that. Look at the shine. So I think I want to add a piece of that to my card front. So I'm going to take out, and it's just a perfect match. It's actually copper clay, but it works beautifully with this. So I'm gonna make this piece a little bit wider than this one. This one is 1 inch, so I'm gonna make this 1 1/2. I want it to show up. So let me move my blends. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this at 1 1/2. Because I have an idea of what I want to do with some of this as well. So that's 1 1/2. I'm going to put this back. And this needs to be 4 1/4. Because I want it to stretch all the way across, just like my Cajun Craze. Now, with what's left over, instead of stamping, I'm going to use my bow punch and punch a couple of stems. That just steps it up from stamping them on. I think I'll use, you know, I bet if I go this way, I can even conserve a little bit. Looky there. I love conserving my specialty paper. All right, and oh, in the back of this, of course, is that gorgeous gingham. Isn't that pretty? But we're going to stick with this side since that's what we have. That's what we'll be using on the front. I think I'll put it at the bottom. And we're going to set these aside and use these in a minute. But before I glue it down, I'm going to go ahead and put the twine on it, but I think I'm going to try. We'll see how this goes. I'd like to have it wrapped this way. So let me see if I can do that. That should be enough to tie a bow. This is tricky when you're doing it before you, when you're doing it just on a piece of designer series paper. All right. Let me see if I can get this tied the way I want it. Now I want it down here as far down as I can get it. And I'm going to loop this underneath so that it holds it together down here. All right, tie me a bow. Oh, I missed it. I grabbed at it and missed it. I'll try again. I'm holding too many things down here. Holding my paper down, holding my string down. But you know what? If you don't get it tight enough, you can always tape it on the back. And that's probably what I'm going to have to do. But there's my bow. Now I'm going to bring it in a little bit. Bring it in a little bit. And I want it to be a nice little bow. And of course, twine tends to wind up. You don't want it wound up if you can keep it that way. I'm going to have to tighten it and bring it back in. All right. All right, so I'm going to get some tape. Just plain old Scotch tape. Put a little on the back of this. Just to there we go. All right, and then I'm going to trim my string. All right, I think we're ready to adhere this down now. So let's do that. Put some over the twine. All right, I want my twine on the left side. And I'll put that right about there. No, I did it the wrong way. I want it more this way. All right, and then I'm going to put my embossed piece on next. And it's going to go right up against my tartan foil. There we go. Nice. All right. So we've got our base ready. I'm going to set it aside, push my bow aside, because now we're going to start on our image. So I decided to do a little bit more to this image. So I made this one just a little bit taller. This piece, this basic white piece, is 4 3/4 instead of 4 1/2. 4 3/4 by 2 3/4, or by 2 1/2. 4 3/4 by 2 1/2. And then my Cajun Craze piece is 5 by 2 3/4. So just 1/8 of an inch larger. But we're not going to adhere that yet. So I'm going to use my blender brush and use some smoky slate ink. And I'm just going to do the bottom, the very bottom here. Whoop. I think that's enough. I think that's enough. I do think, well, you know, I'll do it a little more on the edges, and then my stamp in the middle is going to come down on the shelf. Okay, I think that's good. Let me look and see if I have anybody on live. So if you're watching this live, I would love it if you just comment. I love to know who's on there, and I know there are people that tell me, oh, I watched you, but never comment. So, and if you watch the replay, please let me know. Please let me know. All right, so now I'm going to get my books, and I'm going to use the black memento ink. And I'm going to stamp the first one down on the table. But I'm going to put 2 more stacks of books. I've seen several done this way, and I just thought they were so cute. So, let's see. Put that one right there. One more. Okay. This one is going to go right up here. There we go. And now we need our owl. And he also is going to be basic in the black memento. And we're going to set him right on top of the books. Right on top. He's kind of, and you know, what I like to do is give him some feet. So it looks like he's actually sitting on the edge of that book. All right. I think we're ready to color. So I know that I want to get this binding in a darker color to cover up the edge. So I'm going to use my dark Calypso Coral for that one. And it doesn't cover it up completely, but you know what? It does just fine. And I'll use my dark Smoky Slate. And I could even come along with my, I know I have oh, I know where it is. A black Stampin' Right marker. Let's see what I could do right here. I bet I can come along right here. Yeah, okay. Well, I could fool around with it for a long time and probably mess it up. So let's don't do that. All right, and then I'm going to color this binding, finish this, And then we're just going to scatter the bindings out after this. All right, we'll start here at the bottom, and I'll do a gray. I'll just do a light smoky slate right here. Now, I'm not trying to do any shading or anything like that. This is just your basic coloring. But it's an Avid card, so I certainly could do that. All right, I'm going to take my dark one and color this in. Hi, Kay. I see you. How are you this morning? Doing well, I hope. All right, I'm just going to come along here. This is the light Calypso Coral. And how about let's bring in some Balmy Blue. It's probably easier to use the felt tip on these smaller areas. I just grabbed an end and pulled it off. All right. Now let's do our dark Calypso Coral. I love these colors together. I really do. And use our light Calypso Coral maybe. And I'm just going to use my gray. And I'm just going to use the light gray. Right on this part. I'm not going to do the edges of the books. They can just be white. All right. Now I think we'll come back to our Balmy Blue. Right here. And maybe the dark Balmy Blue on the ends. See, if you're an avid card maker and you love to color, then this is the card for you. This bothers me, so I'm going to come right back here and color that in. All right, there we go. All right, and I think I'll go back to my gray. But you know, I don't even consider this really coloring. I like to do the shading, but this is an easy, this makes this an easy coloring project. Now I'll use my dark again. And then I'm going to do the front of the books, or the top here. In the gray. And then our last row of books, let's go back to our dark Calypso Coral. Oh, I'm going to do this dark too. Let's see, do I want to do, I'm going to do dark Calypso Coral up here too. That way I don't have to keep opening and closing that one. All right, and let's do a Balmy Blue. here and here and maybe here and here. And let's see, let's do a gray. This is the most time-consuming part, and you wouldn't have to color the books. I just think it looks really cool to do that. All right, whoops, I opened the wrong end again. I want the feet to show, so I chose the lighter color. Looks like I may need to replace my Calypso coral. You know, when it starts getting wobbly at the end and light, then you know it's time to replace it. All right. Get our cover done here. Do a little bit on the bird and call it done. All right, our bird is going to be, and I am doing shading on the bird. The bird needs shading. So this is my dark smoky slate, and I'll come down here where the marks are. You can always know where the shading goes by where the lines are on your image. And some of them don't have it, but a lot of them do. All right. And now I'm going to come along with my light, and I'm going to blend this out. I want to blend it out. I want to pull that color out as much as I can. Just give some shading. I'm going to pull the color out of this. And on the wing, we'll pull the color out. I'm going to add a little bit of color to my bird, my owl. But I'm going to get this pulled out first. So you'll see the, you can actually see the shading. I'm sorry. You can hear the little dog that we're dog sitting for. All right, I'm also going to do some blending with my Calypso coral. So I'm just going to go around this edge, around over the wing a little bit, and around here. And then I'm going to pull that out with my light. Just pull that right into the body of the owl. And pull it out a little more. You want to really smudge that line to make it look more like a shadow. All right. And I'm just going to I'm going to come on down here, finish this out. Ah, isn't he great? Ah, we need to give him a beak, though. I'll use the dark. Love that guy. Now, the only thing he's missing is a pair of glasses. So we're going to give him that. And you know, I just realized what I wanted to do. And I did something I didn't need to do, because I'm going to have to do it all over again. All right, I'm positioning this slightly over the wing and right above the beak, and I'll show you why in a minute. Look at those glasses. Now, thing that, oh, I wanted him to be raised. And I told myself, don't color the owl on the paper, but I did. So I'm going to do another one right here. But this one isn't going to be hard. I'm not going to take a long time, but I am going to have to color him because he's the one I'm going to cut out. I'm going to fussy cut this guy and put him on top so that he's raised a little bit. So I did not need to color the one underneath. I should have, I don't know, when I had that in mind, I should have made myself a note. Don't color the owl underneath. You don't need to do that. But I didn't. So, here we go. Just color him, bring this up. Bring this up. We'll do the whole wing. And we want to really bring that out. All right. All right. All right. So let's see. I've pretty much got the gray done. Now all I need to do is the Calypso Coral. So I'm just going to put some highlight around the edge here and around the top of the wing. Now I'm going to come back and pull the color out. Pull the color out. Pull color out. Pull the color up. Pull the color out. Okay, bring the color down. And do the beak. And we're done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fussy cut this guy, and that will not be hard. Oh. Can't do that yet. I've got to put the glasses on him. And if you remember, I did it right over the nose and over the wing just a little bit. All right. Now we're going to fussy cut him. We're going to see how this works. This is one of those trial and error things. Now, I'm going to fix the edges in a minute. The nice thing about the dark color, the black outline, is you can fix the edges. So I'm going to cut around him and cut the edge of the glasses off. All right. And we're going to hope this fits. A little bit of an experiment, but I'm going to take my black, and I'm just going to, this is my black Stampin' Right marker, and I'm just going to come along the edge, cover the white where I cut. All right, we've got him. Let's see if we can get him on. I'm going to use dimensionals. This is why I did this whole thing, was so I could put him on with dimensionals. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, here we go. And I just want to make sure that the glasses line up. And looky there. Looky there. It did. It's all lined up. And he's raised up. That was the look I wanted to get. All right, now I'm going to put him on my Cajun Craze. And I'm just going to do that with my white glue, my Tombow. Right around the edges. And then, all right. And now we want to leave a little bit of a border. All right, we're done with that. So now I'm also going to put this on dimensionals. And I know, you know, we've already got one thing with dimensionals, but all right, so I won't mail this card, or I'll put extra postage on it or something. I just think it needs to be on dimensionals. And put a couple in the middle. With a big piece like this, you need a few more. Oh, let me see if I can speed this process up. Oops, that one doesn't want to come off. Okay. Sometimes it takes several times. Maybe I have too many. There. All right. I'll throw all these away. Okay, now we're going to scrunch this right onto here. Make sure it's even, straight. There we go. And now we're going to stick these on right here. They're just going to kind of lap over the Cajun Craze. All right. One more. Okay. I'll move our string and just have it kind of hanging over the edge of that. All right. All we need now is our cinnamon. And as you can see, we don't have room on here for our cinnamon. So we're just going to stamp it on a piece of paper and add it. Oh, I think I got that, well, no, not too crooked. All right, I need to pull out my trimmer. All right. All right. So I trimmed it. I'm going to banner it on this end. I'm going to trim a little more off of this end. I'm going to put a dimensional there on this end, and I'm going to put a little glue on this end because it's hanging over a little bit. There we go. All right. How is that for a stamped stepped up card. I'm trying to get it straight. There we go. Are we done? I think we are. I don't think it needs anything else. What do you think? All right. Here we go. So here we have our sketch right here. Our basic card. Our stepped up a little bit card. We've added an embossing folder and a mat and some extra stamping and a little bit of color. And then our Avid card, where we added a different pattern paper, the tartan foil, and this added some bows, added some more stamps, and did some fussy cutting, and did our sentiment off to the side. That's it. So we have stepped this card up, and I hope I've given you some ideas of ways that you can do that, ways that you can take a simple sketch and step it up. I really enjoy doing that, and I hope you'll give it a try. All right. Well, if you have any questions along the way, be sure and leave a comment. I'm happy to answer your questions. Thank you, Kay. I love this stamp. I love this bird's eye view set. They're just so unique, and you can do so much with them. All right, that's it for today, Stampin' Thursday. And let's see, this is, yes, next week. Let me look at my calendar, because I think next week is Dying to Know. It is. Next week on Tuesday is Dying to Know. And that's where I go through and show you all the pieces of a stamp and die set and how to use them. We sort of unlock it. And we're going to do Christmas classics. And then, of course, the Stamp Club of the month, the October Stamp Club, will be due, I need to know by the 10th if you're going to participate. And I'll be showing you the cards that will be included in that kit. I'll be showing you that next Thursday. So, be sure and join me. If you're watching this on YouTube or watching the replay, thank you. Thank you for doing that. And please leave me a comment. And I will see you Monday night. God bless. Bye-bye.